Well, in spite of the lack of star power at the Honda Classic, it ended up being a feel-good weekend. Well, before we get into that, first, let's go back to 2015. Chris Kirk had just won his fourth PGA Tour title and had worked his way all the way up to number 16 in the official world golf rankings. Then, a 4-year spiral of depression and alcohol led to Kirk's ranking plummeting to all the way down to 188 in the world. Moving ahead to the 2018-19 season, Kirk had failed to make the cut in 4 consecutive events, missing a total of 11 cuts over 17 events. Then one day, Kirk woke up in a hotel room in New Orleans and couldn't remember much about what he'd done the night before. The only thing he was certain about was that he drank. So hungover and depressed, Chris Kirk went back to his home in Athens, Georgia, talked to his wife, and then he called his agent and a few other friends to tell them he was taking a break from playing golf in an attempt to try and get sober. On May 7, 2019, a week after his last drink, Chris Kirk shared his decision to take a leave of absence from the PGA Tour on his social media accounts. He explained he'd been dealing with alcohol abuse and depression for years. He told his followers that he thought he could control it, but after several relapses, he knew he couldn't, so he was going to take as much time as he needed to get help. And this is a guy who once finished second in the FedEx Cup back in 2014. And then all that was dwindling away. Kirk tried to quit drinking beer at the end of 2017 after he saw he'd gone all the way up to 195 pounds, which was the most he'd ever weighed in his life. He instead started drinking wine, vodka, and soda, and bourbon, and he said that switching from beer to hard liquor probably accelerated things for him as well and made his alcohol abuse worse. And then eventually in May 2019, he was able to finally quit and said he received a lot of support from fellow PGA Tour players and others around the world. Finally, after that incredible journey, Kirk was on the cusp of getting his first win in 8 years and had a one-shot lead on 18, but he put his approach in the water. He managed to make birdie, which left him tied with Eric Cole and heading to a playoff. Cole had a chance to win, but his birdie attempt from just outside 10 feet rimmed out and all the way around the cup. It was a tough putt for him, and so that left Chris Kirk with just a tap-in from 16 inches for the title, and this is what that sounded like.
Kirk steps in, and for the first time in almost 8 years is a winner again on the PGA Tour.
What a great feeling, an emotional win. Probably one of the toughest days of his life, really, as a golfer.
It was Kirk's 5th career PGA Tour victory and first since what is now known as the Charles Schwab Challenge back in 2015. Following the win, Kirk was at first speechless and had this to say at his press conference.
Yeah, definitely still trying to wrap my head around it for sure. But I'm so thankful to be able to do what I do for a living. I'm very thankful to have the life that I have and to have the opportunity to compete on a stage like this and a tournament like this and to be able to pull it off is, a huge bonus. A huge bonus for me. And, unbelievable. Like I said, I don't have the words yet.
Well, after a few minutes, Kirk seemed to relax a bit and was willing to open up about his life journey and sobriety, and he had this to say.
Yeah, I owe everything that I have in my entire life to my sobriety. I wouldn't be doing this for a living anymore. I probably wouldn't have the family that I have currently anymore. Came really close to losing everything that I cared about, and so for that to have happened and worked out for me, obviously it was some decisions that I made, but mostly the grace of God and a lot of other people that really helped me along the way. But that's something that's constantly in my mind. So it's pretty easy for me to see that winning the Honda Classic is kind of a bonus. When literally every good thing I have in my life I owe to that.
Well, that win secured him $1.5 million U.S. in prize money, and the win also jumps Kirk up to the number 32 spot in the official world golf rankings and 6th in the FedEx Cup rankings. But more importantly for him as a Georgia native, it clinches him a spot in the Masters in April and the opportunity to take his wife and 3 sons to Augusta. Kirk also spoke about that following his win at the Honda Classic on Sunday.
I'm not going to lie to you. I came into this week at 47th in the world golf ranking, and that's usually not something that I care a whole lot about. but I have not played the Masters since 2016, I think. Wow. And growing up in Georgia, that kind of means everything to me. So I've been watching that world ranking closely, trying to stay in the top 50. But to take care of it this week is that's going to be something that's incredibly special. Last time I played, my two older sons, Sawyer and Foster, were, I think, maybe just turned 2 and like 4 months old. So now to be able to go back, they'll be 11 and 9, and then Wilder, my third son, will be 5. So that par 3 contest can't come soon enough. I'm really looking forward to that the whole week. But just to be able to make those memories with my wife and my kids will be awesome.
Well, congrats to Chris Kirk. Hopefully he sticks to his sobriety and keeps playing great golf. It's got to be hard for him because booze and golf go together very well. I mean, there's a huge drinking culture amongst all the players and caddies on the PGA Tour and LIV, I would imagine. I don't know about the LPGA Tour, but every week being surrounded by that has got to be a constant challenge for him. So let's hope he sticks to it and keeps to his game plan because it's going really well.